He did, a couple of Marilyn Manson videos. The Rock is Dead video, which is really cool. He did Bullet with Butterfly Wings for Smashing Pumpkins. He did Cranberries Zombie.
Nice.
Some really landmark, benchmark videos.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's none of that originality of imagery on display here. There's nothing exciting or nothing dark or really like you're looking like, man, that's so cool. Nothing. It's all generic. The one cool scene I also give him credit for, when they introduced the concept of micronaps.
Yes, I like that a lot,
Which
too.
is just that, your brain, you're going to start just, for half a second, you'll be dreaming and you won't know it. And they utilize this in the scene where the heroine is in this convenience store and it's flickering rapidly back and forth between her nightmare and reality. And she's crawling away on the back of the floor from Freddy, and so you don't see him there, you see him. You don't see him, you don't see him. And it's like, if they could do that, why wasn't there the rest of them?
It almost seemed like this was the first draft in a lot of ways, where it's like, okay, Freddy kills the guy here.
Right.
But now in the rewrite, you go back and you're like, okay, how can I make this imaginative? Like, look at the character, what would be kind of twisted for them. Where in, like, the third one, you get the girl who used to be, like, the drug addict, like heroin.
Right,
so
he
does,
stabs
like,
her with the needles, right.
And it's just, boom, that's perfect, And, like, the kid who maybe feels like his parents are controlling him, so he puppeteers him, And that was Frank Darabont's Shawshank Redemption writer. So it's not a coincidence that talent knows how to take that and sculpt it and everything. And the original Nightmare series was inspired because it was like, here's the slasher genre. Now, how can we think of something new? Because you got Jason, you got Halloween, you got all these ideas coming out, April Fool's Day. And it's like, okay, what's the new slasher? And Wes Craven comes with this great idea, your dreams can kill you. Amazing. But now, it's not inspiration, it's just, profit cashing in. It's very cynical, like you say. It's just this is so insulting. Like, I'm sick of apologizing for having standards. This movie made me so angry.
There's so much wasted potential behind it. The idea that your dreams can kill, there's so many places you can go with that, and they went nowhere.
Yeah.
They just didn't even try. And it brings it's like, what can we do with reboots? What is the point? And there's two ways you can go. There's the quick cash-in, which is what Platinum Dunes and Michael Bay and that whole production company is all about.
Right.
Just throw the name on it, shit it out there, and people will come and see it. But then there's Dark Knight, which completely was reinterpreted the Batman franchise, breathed new life into it. You've got, and mostly television has done a great job with the reboot. Battlestar Galactica was wonderful, was just such a great reimagine. They call it, the way they phrase it is a reimagining, because that's what it is.
You have to use your imagination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not just the same old thing. They totally took it in a totally new direction. V.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's like, that's a very good reboot of the original miniseries.
It is. I like the original a lot, but looking back, it's pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
And now they're taking a nice angle to it.
And the reason, because that is, in television, you've got to keep people coming back week after week after week after week. And you have to keep up in the ante week after week after week after week. Here, you can trick people. In television, you can only trick people once.
Yeah.
And then they won't come back.
And when you trick them at the theater once, you get that opening weekend.
You already have the $36 million opening. Yeah. And that's why they're already talking about the sequel.
Yeah. Because this movie, it actually it was the highest Nightmare budget, I think, other than Freddy vs. Jason. It was like $27 million.
Right. It was also the highest grossing.
Opening weekend.
Highest grossing opening weekend.
Yeah, but then I did read it didn't match ticket sales. So with the inflated prices, it's kind of a little deceiving, but still, that says a lot that you put out this half-hearted effort and it's still going to bank. And I think if I was a kid, if I was like 14, 15, and I loved the Nightmare movies, I'd be like, it'd be cool to see a Nightmare movie on the big screen.
Right.
And hope that they would do it right. Same thing, for seeing a Halloween or a Friday the 13th. So it's kind of like watching the Rolling Stones today, where like, when you saw them in the 60s and 70s, it was relevancy. They were relevant for the times. They spoke to kind of our hearts. And now it's nostalgia, or it's just like cashing in on the feelings that they once had.
But at least they execute their songs competently.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
Still a fun show to go watch.
Exactly.
If and talk about, again, going back to reboots, the only person in the horror genre we talked about that's even attempting to do anything different is Rob Zombie with the Halloween franchise. Yeah. At least he's an auteur with a vision. Now, you can debate validly, how good his vision is, and how well it's executed.
It's kind of like white trash horror,
but and really a gore fest and kind of torture porn. But at least he's trying something.
He is. At least he's putting forth an effort of like, I'm going to sit down and think about this, instead of like, let's just Xerox the plot for the original film. And did you like the backstory where it's like, now he's a pedophile?
I mean, they kind of, apparently it's not enough anymore that you're a child murderer. Now you have to be a pederast. Right. But I kind of get, in the 80s, murder is kind of code for pedophile. They really couldn't
Right.
talk about molestation, I guess, in that time. So
It would have been a little bit
because there's really no such thing as just a child murderer.
Yeah.
It really is a pedophile, and they may or not murder the kids, but that's
Freddy
what it,
always
that's
seemed
what
like a
it
dirty
is.
old man anyway,
Yeah,
the
that's
way
kind
he
of
was
what
kinda
it is, and
behaving.
they just made that more explicit here.
Yeah.
So what I didn't like is that they had to go through this whole process of like, no, we're kids, we lied about it. This is an innocent man, and this kind of twist, like, no, he wasn't innocent.
Yeah.
He was actually a rapist.
Exactly. And now you're like, what? Now you're feeling sympathy for Freddy?
And there's no need for that. He's just gonna be a bad guy from the get-go. We can roll with that. That's fine.
Just
you know?
commit to it. I wish they kind of would have just condensed, like, take all the 8 parts and all the interesting information. Like in part 6, it was like some sleep ancient demons granted him the power to stay eternal within dreams.
Right, and then 3 was the nun that was raped by 1,000 maniacs, which is so cool.
So, yeah, that's a great idea.
That's a great
dude.
idea.
It's super awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can just
They're
kind of go
saving
with
that for number 2.
Yeah,
They're saving that for the
that's
sequel.
the problem. It's like now we have all this information and story that's developed, so now we have to kind of disperse it out over the next 3 or 4 sequels if they get that far.
Right.
Thankfully, there's not a Friday 13 Part 2 yet, but I'm
On
sure
its
that's
way.
going to happen
On its
soon.
way.
So it's like, it would have been great if they would have, because Freddy's character was really neglected here. I wish he would have just had more of a point of view. That's the thing. If you give your character a point of view, he's going to approach every scene with like, here's why I'm here, here's what I need to do, I have an objective towards the end, instead of like, I'm just around to kind of scare you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I also hated how the parents, they had to do the thing like, no, we don't know anything about this. And like the half-hearted scene where in the principal's office where it's like, you killed him and now we know about it.
And like, until you have children, you won't know what it's like when you can't protect them. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like whatever. And then we're going for that kind of Saw thing where we want to see the new torture. We want to see the new kill.
Right.
So give us CGI Freddy kills. Give us something really that's going to blow us away a
Right.
little bit. I want Matrix Freddy, you know?
Seriously, yeah.
Take it to the
I
next
want, or Pan's Labyrinth Freddy.
Yeah.
That was a movie that totally succeeded in creating a dreamscape.
Great example.
It
Great
was a
example.
really inventive imagery in
Yeah.
that one, and creepy.
Uh-huh.
And if you applied that aesthetic to this movie, you could really do some crazy things. Like you can go so surreal
Mm-hmm.
in a moviescape, in a nightmare theme, and they just decided not to do
Yeah.
that. It was just in the factory. It was just so basic. And
It would have been great if like a Peter Jackson or someone suggested David Lynch.
would be an unbelievable choice.
That
for
would be super balls.
That would be just balls to the wall crazy.
That would have been sweet, but... And then the ending, hate the ending, where it's like... Because in the originally they set up where it's like a dreamy kind of thing, and they're in a car, and then like... It's kind of cheesy, like the top goes over.
and locks in.
And it's a sweater color.
Yeah.
And then she gets dragged through the window. But here it's like, it seems like it's reality, and then Freddy's in the mirror. And you're just sitting there like, okay, how are they going to set up the sequel? And
Right.
here it is. And that mirror thing is just like, reach out at us, dude. They're killing us. Our love. Yeah, 'cause they're killing our love
They're
for film.
killing our love for
this,
film.
I mean, this is seriously just Michael Bay and Platinum Dunes just like pissing all over us, just whipping it out, and on the audience, and like, I dare you to be mad at us.
Right, and I dare you not to watch this.
Yeah.
I dare you not to pay money for this. And movie lovers, if you're out there, do not pay money for this movie.
No,
don't
and no.
buy it on DVD.
No.
Don't watch it on cable.
Yeah.
Just really, you need to make a stand. Stop the movie apocalypse.
This is totally a harbinger of the movie pod. We're in it, man. We're in it. There's no more like it's coming. This is a sign of it is here.
That being said, I kind of want to see A-Team.
Jonas, we need to have a little bit of a talk.
I'm sorry, Liam Neeson is Hannibal.
I know.
Liam Neeson is
But Bradley Cooper is in every movie. It's like he's like the tough guy now. I don't know. His face.
Yeah.
I don't know, face shooting a tank gun. It looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it feels A-Team-ish to me, but
Yeah.
whatever. Well, that'll be another review. So, yeah, edited for TV is the lowest rating that I have right now, where it's like just watch it in the background. Edited
While you're
for
doing
TV,
something else?
Doing something more interesting. So I don't know if there's something
You
lower
need a
than
lower.
that.
You need a lower rating, which is boycott.
Boycott.
Like actively,
I think-
actively don't watch this film.
Yeah.
Actively tell people not to go watch
Oh
this
wait,
film.
no, never ever. I think that's
Yeah,
I just added
never,
that.
ever.
Never ever. That's
Never,
the newest.
ever.
Never ever. So don't even waste your 2 hour and a half
Don't waste
of
your.
life.
It's not just it's your time that's wasted.
Time, money, energy, mental storage capacity, all that. So just save it. Living in tough times. So we got to have some standards, man. We got to like start actually getting kind of pissed about things instead of putting up with it. I think we got it.
I think we got it. Yeah.
I think there was no hiding our feelings there.
So yeah, no mistaking our feelings.
So the last thing I will say is that you should visit zenandtheartofwaitering.blogspot.com. And Jonas has business cards now.
I have
love
business
this,
card.
dude.
If you'd like to purchase the book, you could for download for your Apple, your phone, your new, what is it called? The
iPad.
the iPad, your Sony e-reader, your Kindle. If you want to get it on PDF, if you just want an HTML copy, you can go to smashwords.com/books/view/13249. $5.95. What a bargain.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Okay, so, sir, it's been a pleasure once again.
Been a pleasure again.
Iron Man 2's next.
Ooh, I'm psyched.
I'm psyched too. This should be good.
Okay.
All right.
Until then, long live good movies.
Long live good movies.